The life story of Barack Obama. Welcome back to my channel, Learning English Level 3. I'm so excited you're here because today, we're going to dive into the life of one of the most inspiring figures of our time, Barack Obama. His story is not just about becoming the first African-American president of the United States. It's about overcoming obstacles, fighting for what you believe in, and never giving up on your dreams. This video is going to be full of motivation, and I promise by the end of it, you'll feel encouraged to chase your own dreams, no matter how big or small. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support means a lot to me, and it helps the channel grow so we can keep bringing you amazing content to improve your English skills and motivate you at the same time. Now, let's jump into this incredible journey of Barack Obama. Early life and humble beginnings. Barack Obama's story begins in a place far from the White House, in a modest neighborhood on the islands of Hawaii. Born on August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, his early life was far from what many would expect for someone who would later become the 44th President of the United States. Barack's mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, was from Kansas, while his father, Barack Obama Sr., was from Kenya. His parents separated when he was just 2 years old, and Obama grew up largely without his father. Despite the distance between them, Obama's relationship with his father and the stories of his heritage shaped his worldview and fueled his drive for greatness. As a child, Barack faced the complexities of being biracial in a world that often viewed him as different. He struggled with questions of identity and fitting in, something many young people can relate to, no matter their background. Obama has spoken often about feeling isolated and out of place, especially in his early years. He was raised in Hawaii and later moved to live with his mother and grandparents in various places. This constant movement and diverse experiences had a huge impact on Obama, helping him develop an open mind and a deep understanding of people from all walks of life. His mother, though not a political figure, had a powerful influence on Obama. She encouraged him to focus on his education and always emphasized the importance of community and working toward something greater than oneself. She taught him to value knowledge, diversity, and empathy, and to always challenge himself. It was clear from a young age that education would be his pathway to success. Even though he faced social struggles and challenges of being in a mixed-race family, Obama excelled in school, always a dedicated student who saw the value in learning. In his teenage years, Obama attended the prestigious Punahou School in Honolulu, which was a major turning point. It was here that Obama began to make his mark, not just as a student, but as someone with leadership potential. He was an athlete and academic achiever, and someone with a natural charisma that made him stand out. However, despite his success, he still struggled with the feeling of not fully belonging, something that stayed with him for much of his life. He once said, "I was a little bit of a misfit," and that sense of being an outsider would later fuel his passion for justice and equality. The experience of growing up in a multicultural environment gave Obama a unique perspective on race and identity. By the time he graduated high school, he was determined to find a place where he could make a difference. Despite the challenges, Obama's early life set the foundation for his future success. It taught him resilience, perseverance, and a belief in the power of self-improvement. His story is one of overcoming adversity, learning from his past, and constantly striving for a brighter future. Obama's early life shows that no matter where you start, Your dreams are always within reach if you are willing to work for them. Growing up in a diverse yet sometimes difficult environment taught him lessons that shaped not only his leadership style but also his approach to life. This humble beginning laid the groundwork for everything that was to come in his remarkable journey from the streets of Honolulu to the halls of the White House. Overcoming challenges. Growing up mixed race. Barack Obama's journey as a mixed-race child was shaped by the complexities of identity, belonging and race. Born to a white American mother, Stanley and Dunham, and a black Kenyan father, Barack Obama Sr., he was raised in a world where he often felt torn between two cultures and struggled with fitting in. Growing up, Obama had to navigate the challenges of being biracial in a society that often didn't know how to categorize him. This struggle would shape his perspective, his political beliefs, and, ultimately, his resilience in facing adversity. From an early age, Obama was aware of the differences between himself and many of the other children he encountered. His father, whom he only saw sporadically, lived thousands of miles away in Kenya, and Obama's connection to him was largely built through stories and letters. His mother, though a strong influence in his life, also faced her own struggles, raising a child in a multicultural environment while dealing with the complexities of being a single parent. Obama lived in Hawaii with his mother and grandparents for much of his childhood, but he later moved to mainland America to attend high school, where the racial divide felt more pronounced. In Hawaii, Obama was considered different, not only because of his racial background but also because he was often one of the few black students in his schools. His experiences with racism and prejudice were subtle yet powerful. While Hawaii was more diverse than many other places in the U.S., it still had its own social challenges, and Obama struggled with fitting in. He was often caught between two worlds, unsure of where he truly belonged. This feeling of not quite fitting in made him reflect deeply on his identity, and for many years, Obama questioned who he was and where he came from. As Obama became a teenager, he realized that his mixed-race background set him apart, but it also made him unique. In his memoir, Dreams from My Father, Obama reflects on how his identity shaped his understanding of race and community. He spent a lot of time searching for role models and mentors who could help him make sense of his own experiences. The absence of a solid connection to his father made his identity search even more challenging, but it also motivated him to learn about his roots. His journey was about understanding the complexities of race in America, and this process of self-discovery would influence his future political views and leadership style. Obama's mixed-race background also gave him a deep sense of empathy for people from all walks of life. He wasn't just navigating the challenges of being black in America but also understanding the struggles of people from many different races and cultures. He became passionate about issues of inequality, justice, and civil rights, recognizing that America's true strength came from embracing its diversity rather than dividing along racial lines. His experiences with racism, discrimination, and the confusion of being biracial were not just challenges. They were opportunities for growth, and they fueled his desire to create a more inclusive society. In his time at Occidental College, Columbia University, and later Harvard Law School, Obama faced both internal and external struggles. He was still learning to balance the cultural aspects of his identity, but he found strength in his ability to relate to people from different backgrounds. His perspective on race, identity, and belonging became a powerful tool in his career, allowing him to connect with people from across the political and racial spectrum. Obama's mixed-race identity was a source of strength and resilience rather than weakness. It gave him the ability to empathize with others and understand the challenges of both minority and majority communities. Overcoming the challenges of growing up biracial taught Obama to be adaptable, to find common ground, and to fight for a future where everyone, regardless of race or background, could feel empowered and valued. His story shows us that no matter the obstacles you face, embracing your identity and staying true to yourself can help you achieve great things. A passion for education. Obama's college years. Barack Obama's college years were a transformative time in his life, where his passion for education, personal growth, and social justice truly began to take shape. It was during these years that Obama began to forge the values and beliefs that would later guide his journey into politics and leadership. His experiences at Occidental College, Columbia University, and Harvard Law School would not only shape his worldview but also prepare him for the challenges he would face in the future. Obama's higher education journey began at Occidental College in Los Angeles, California. As a young man, he was still figuring out who he was and where he fit in the world. At Occidental, he was exposed to a diverse group of students, which expanded his understanding of different cultures and perspectives. This was important for Obama, as he was still grappling with his identity as a mixed-race person. At this point in his life, he was unsure about his path and often struggled with questions about race, belonging, and his place in the world. Despite feeling uncertain about his future, Obama quickly realized the importance of education. He became deeply involved in activism, participating in campus protests and social movements. He was passionate about fighting for justice and equality, particularly for marginalized groups. His college years served as a foundation for his later work as a community organizer in Chicago. It was here that Obama developed a strong sense of purpose and commitment to making a difference. He learned that education was not just about academic achievement but about understanding the world, challenging injustice, and fighting for what was right. After 2 years at Occidental, Obama transferred to Columbia University in New York City. Columbia was a place where Obama could dive deeper into his studies and continue to develop his political beliefs. At Columbia, Obama studied political science with a focus on international relations. His time in New York City was pivotal, as he was exposed to the challenges facing urban communities and the complexities of social and economic inequality. These issues, which Obama had already begun to notice, became central to his studies and his growing understanding of social justice. At Columbia, Obama thrived academically and began to find his voice as a thinker and a writer. He graduated with a degree in political science in 1983. However, his journey was far from over. Obama recognized that his education had only just begun, and he decided to pursue a law degree at the prestigious Harvard Law School. His time at Harvard would be a defining moment in his life and would set the stage for his future career in law and politics. At Harvard, Obama became the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review, one of the most prestigious academic journals in the country. This was a remarkable achievement, reflecting his intelligence, determination, and commitment to excellence. His time at Harvard was not just about academics but also about expanding his understanding of law and its role in shaping society. Obama's passion for education and his desire to use his legal training to fight for social justice were clear. He interned at law firms, worked on civil rights cases, and began to see how he could use law as a tool for positive change. During these years, Obama's education wasn't just about books and classes. It was about learning how to make a difference. He believed that education was a means to an end, a way to gain the knowledge and skills necessary to bring about change in the world. His college years shaped his commitment to community service and social justice, and his educational journey provided him with the tools he would need to eventually change the political landscape of the United States. Obama's college years taught him that education was not just about personal success. It was about understanding the world and using that understanding to help others. His time at Occidental Columbia and Harvard transformed him from a young man with questions about his identity into a powerful advocate for social change. These years laid the foundation for everything that came later in his life, from his work as a community organizer to his election as the first African American president of the United States. Obama's passion for education was central to his development, and it shaped his vision for a future where every child, regardless of their background, could have the opportunity to succeed. The road to community leadership in Chicago. After completing his education, Barack Obama found himself at a crossroads. Armed with a degree from Harvard Law School and a passion for social justice, he could have pursued a lucrative career in law or business. However, Obama was driven by a deeper purpose, the desire to make a meaningful impact in the lives of everyday people. This purpose led him to Chicago, where he would begin his work as a community organizer, a role that would define much of his early career and shape his approach to leadership. In 1985, Obama moved to Chicago, a city with a rich history of activism, civil rights struggles, and political movements. His decision to come to Chicago was not just about finding a job. It was about finding a way to serve communities in need. He took on a job as a community organizer with the Developing Communities Project, DCP, an organization focused on helping South Side Chicago residents improve their neighborhoods. This was a crucial turning point in his life and a moment that would test his commitment to his ideals. As a community organizer, Obama worked in some of the city's most impoverished areas. He was tasked with organizing residents to address issues like housing, jobs, and education. South Chicago was home to a number of struggling communities, and the residents faced a lack of opportunity and a sense of disconnection from local political systems. Obama's role was to build relationships, mobilize people, and help them find a collective voice to push for change. The work was difficult, and Obama faced many challenges. He was young, inexperienced in the field of organizing, and at times, discouraged by the resistance he encountered. Many residents were skeptical of outsiders, and the systems of power in the city were often indifferent or hostile to their concerns. However, Obama was determined. He spent countless hours in neighborhoods, knocking on doors, listening to people's stories, and learning about their struggles. He learned that community organizing wasn't about having all the answers. It was about listening, building trust, and helping people see the power they had when they worked together. During his time with the DCP, Obama helped lead campaigns for better public schools, affordable housing, and job training programs. One of his most notable achievements was helping organize a successful campaign to get a local steel plant to clean up its pollution, which was harming the health of residents. The victory was a testament to Obama's belief in grassroots activism and the power of ordinary people to bring about change. The experience in Chicago solidified Obama's belief in the importance of community and collective action. He learned that leadership wasn't just about holding power or making speeches. It was about empowering people, listening to their needs, and working together toward common goals. Obama was also deeply influenced by the work of other civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., who emphasized nonviolent action and the importance of hope and unity. His time in Chicago also helped shape his understanding of politics. He realized that real change could only happen when people were actively involved in the political process. This realization would play a major role in his future career as a politician. Community organizing, Obama believed, was the foundation for building a more just and equitable society. Obama's work in Chicago laid the groundwork for everything that followed. It shaped his approach to leadership, his commitment to justice, and his understanding of how power works. It was during these years that Obama truly began to understand the value of community, connection, and collective action. His experiences in Chicago were not only a crucial chapter in his personal story, but also a lesson in how to lead with compassion, integrity, and a deep respect for the people you serve. As Obama moved on to bigger political roles, the lessons he learned in Chicago stayed with him. The city had shown him the power of community, and he carried that message with him throughout his political career, from his time in the Illinois State Senate to his presidency. Harvard Law School. Breaking barriers. Barack Obama's journey to Harvard Law School was one of hard work, ambition, and a desire to create real change in the world. After completing his undergraduate studies at Columbia University, Obama could have chosen any number of career paths, but his interest in law and public service led him to apply to one of the most prestigious law schools in the world. Harvard Law School was not only a place to further his education but also a space where Obama could break barriers and prepare himself for a life dedicated to justice, equality, and public service. Harvard Law School, located in Cambridge, Massachusetts, is known for its rigorous academic program and its reputation for shaping some of the brightest legal minds in the country. When Obama was admitted in 1988, he was entering a highly competitive environment, where the pressure to succeed was immense. But Obama was no stranger to overcoming challenges. Having already navigated the complexities of growing up as a mixed-race individual in America, he was ready to face the intellectual and social challenges that Harvard would present. During his time at Harvard, Obama's background as a community organizer in Chicago and his commitment to social justice played a major role in his perspective on law. He was determined not just to learn the law, but to understand how it could be used to address societal inequalities and fight for marginalized communities. Obama was deeply influenced by the idea that law could be a tool for social change, and this shaped his approach to his legal education. Harvard was a place where Obama could challenge the status quo and question traditional ideas about race, power, and privilege. He was one of the few African American students in his class, which added another layer of complexity to his experience. However, rather than seeing his position as a disadvantage, Obama used it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and advocate for change. Throughout his years at Harvard, he found ways to bridge gaps between people from different backgrounds and bring attention to issues that mattered to those who were often unheard. One of Obama's most significant achievements at Harvard came in 1990, when he became the first African American president of the Harvard Law Review, one of the most prestigious law journals in the country. This was a remarkable accomplishment that not only broke barriers but also set Obama apart as a leader among his peers. Becoming president of the Harvard Law Review was no small feat, as the position required a combination of academic excellence, leadership, and an ability to navigate complex legal issues. Obama's election to the position was a testament to his intellect, work ethic, and determination to succeed in a field where African Americans had historically been underrepresented. Obama's time at Harvard also taught him valuable lessons about the importance of mentorship, collaboration, and persistence. As a student, he took part in various law-related activities, including working on civil rights cases and internships at law firms. These experiences deepened his understanding of the law and reinforced his commitment to fighting for justice, especially for those whose voices had been silenced. He began to see how law could be used to dismantle systems of inequality and make a real difference in the lives of people who had long been marginalized. In addition to his academic accomplishments, Obama's Harvard years were a time of self-discovery. He learned to balance his responsibilities as a student with his growing passion for public service. His experiences at Harvard helped him develop the skills, confidence, and perspective necessary for his future career in politics. He saw the power of the legal system in shaping society, and this would become a central theme in his later political career. Obama's success at Harvard Law School was a defining moment in his life. It proved that with hard work, perseverance, and a clear vision for social change, he could overcome barriers that once seemed impossible. His time at Harvard not only broke barriers for himself but also paved the way for future generations of students who would follow in his footsteps, showing that the pursuit of justice and equality was worth fighting for, no matter the obstacles. Entering politics. Obama's rise in Illinois. Barack Obama's entry into politics was not a sudden decision, but the result of years of deep reflection, community involvement, and a passion for social justice. After completing his education at Harvard Law School, Obama could have easily pursued a career in a prestigious law firm or continued on a path of academia. Instead, he chose to return to Chicago and focus on something that mattered deeply to him: serving the community and making a meaningful difference in people's lives. Obama's political journey began in 1996 when he ran for the Illinois State Senate. Before jumping into politics, Obama had already made his mark in the community as a grassroots organizer in Chicago, working on issues like affordable housing, education, and economic equality. These experiences fueled his desire to enter politics and create policies that would have a tangible, positive impact on people's lives, especially those in underserved and marginalized communities. When Obama first ran for the Illinois State Senate, he faced many challenges. He was relatively unknown and up against well-established political figures in the area. His opponents had the experience and name recognition, but Obama had something they didn't: an unwavering belief in the power of the people. He ran a campaign based on hope, change, and the idea that politics should be about serving the public, not special interests. Obama focused his message on bridging divides and working together for the common good, something that resonated with many people in his district. The road to victory was not easy. Obama was running in a district that had been dominated by the political machine of Chicago for decades. He faced numerous obstacles, from a lack of funding to the challenge of connecting with voters who were skeptical of an outsider. But Obama didn't back down. He knocked on doors, listened to people's concerns, and built connections in communities that had often been overlooked by traditional politicians. His genuine passion for improving people's lives and his commitment to community organizing set him apart from others in the race. In 1996, Obama won the Democratic primary for the Illinois State Senate. His victory was a testament to his ability to connect with voters and inspire them with a vision of change. His time as a state senator would be the foundation for his later political career, and it provided him with a platform to push for policies that would improve the lives of everyday people. As a state senator, Obama worked on a range of important issues. He pushed for healthcare reform, expanded economic opportunities for low-income families, and worked to reduce racial inequality in the criminal justice system. He was known for his ability to bring together people from different backgrounds and political affiliations to find common ground and solve problems. Obama's approach to politics was rooted in his belief that change could only happen when people worked together, regardless of their differences. Obama's work in the Illinois State Senate laid the foundation for his rise in politics. He became known as a thoughtful, progressive voice who was willing to challenge the status quo and fight for what was right. His reputation as a skilled orator and his ability to inspire people with his speeches made him a rising star in the Democratic Party. It wasn't long before Obama's political career took another leap forward. In 2004, Obama's keynote address at the Democratic National Convention catapulted him into the national spotlight. His speech, which focused on unity, hope, and the belief that America could overcome its divisions, resonated deeply with the American public. It was a defining moment in Obama's career, and it led to his decision to run for the U.S. Senate later that year. Obama's rise in Illinois politics shows the power of perseverance, vision, and a deep commitment to serving others. His path to the state Senate wasn't easy, but it was shaped by his passion for justice and his belief in the potential of every community. His success in Illinois paved the way for his future career on the national stage, where he would go on to become the first African-American president of the United States, inspiring millions along the way. Obama's journey from Illinois state senator to national leader demonstrates that with determination, vision, and a focus on the common good, anyone can make a lasting impact on the world. The 2004 DNC speech that changed everything. Barack Obama's speech at the 2004 Democratic National Convention (DNC) was a pivotal moment in his political career and one that changed the trajectory of American politics. At the time, Obama was a relatively unknown Illinois state senator, but his keynote address that night propelled him into the national spotlight and made him a household name. The speech, delivered with passion and conviction, captured the essence of Obama's political philosophy and connected with the hearts and minds of Americans across the country. The 2004 DNC was a critical event for the Democratic Party, as it was the official launch of the campaign for John Kerry, the party's presidential nominee. The DNC speech is typically reserved for a rising star within the party, and in this case, Obama was chosen to deliver the keynote address. His selection was a calculated risk, as Obama had little national political experience, but it turned out to be one of the most important moments in the history of the Democratic Party. Obama's speech at the DNC focused on the themes of unity, hope, and a belief in a common American identity. His message was one of inclusion, emphasizing that no matter what background you came from, you were part of the American story. Obama spoke about the importance of working together across political and social divides to tackle the country's most pressing issues. It was a message of optimism, where he painted a picture of a future where Americans put their differences aside and worked toward a common goal. The most powerful moment in Obama's speech came when he spoke about his own background and experience as the son of a Kenyan father and an American mother. He shared his belief that the American dream was not limited by race, religion, or background. Obama's ability to connect his personal story to the broader American experience resonated deeply with many people, and it helped him bridge the gap between different groups within the country. He famously said, "There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America." This line became iconic, as it captured his vision of a united country where people focused on shared values rather than their differences. It was a clear break from the polarizing rhetoric that had dominated American politics for years. Obama's call for unity and his belief in the potential of the American people to come together for the common good struck a chord with many voters. Obama's speech also tackled the tough issues facing the nation, from the war in Iraq to economic inequality. He positioned himself as someone who believed in a better future, but who also acknowledged the challenges the country was facing. His words were not just about lofty ideals but were grounded in the reality of America's struggles. He made it clear that change wouldn't come easily, but it was possible if people were willing to work together. The impact of Obama's 2004 DNC speech was immediate and profound. It instantly raised his profile, not only within the Democratic Party but across the nation. Political pundits, journalists, and everyday Americans were struck by his eloquence, intelligence, and ability to inspire. His speech positioned him as a new kind of politician, one who was not only charismatic but also grounded in a deep understanding of America's potential for progress. Obama's keynote address at the 2004 DNC laid the foundation for his future political success. The speech introduced him to the world as a leader who could unite people, inspire hope, and bring fresh ideas to American politics. It set the stage for his successful bid for the U.S. Senate in 2004, and eventually his presidential campaign in 2008. The 2004 DNC speech is often credited with making Barack Obama a national figure and signaling the beginning of his rise to the presidency. In many ways, Obama's 2004 DNC speech marked the moment when his vision for the future of America resonated with the public. It was the beginning of a new chapter in American politics, one that would be defined by hope, unity, and the belief that change was possible. The speech became a symbol of Obama's political journey and set the stage for the remarkable accomplishments that would follow in his career. The 2008 presidential election. Making history. The 2008 U.S. presidential election was a historic event, and at its center was Barack Obama, a candidate who defied the odds and made history by becoming the first African-American president of the United States. His campaign not only captivated the nation but also inspired millions of people around the world. It was a journey filled with challenges, triumphs, and a message of hope and change that resonated deeply with voters from all walks of life. Obama's candidacy in 2008 came at a time when America was grappling with significant issues: an ongoing war in Iraq, a global financial crisis, rising unemployment, and deep political divisions. The country was in need of a leader who could offer a fresh perspective and unite the nation. Obama, with his message of hope, optimism, and a belief in the power of unity, was positioned as that leader. The journey to the presidency began long before the election. In 2004, After his keynote speech at the Democratic National Convention, Obama's rise in politics was swift. By 2007, he had officially declared his candidacy for president. His campaign was unique in its ability to engage a wide demographic, especially younger voters, African Americans, and those disillusioned with the political establishment. His message was clear. It was time for change, and it was time for a new generation of leadership. From the outset, Obama's campaign faced several obstacles. He was up against the Clinton political machine, with Hillary Clinton, the former First Lady and a well-established political figure, running for the Democratic nomination. Initially, Clinton was considered the frontrunner, and many political analysts thought that Obama's campaign would not gain significant traction. But Obama's grassroots approach to politics, his ability to inspire with his speeches, and his message of hope and unity began to resonate with voters. The turning point came during the Iowa caucus in January 2008. Obama's victory in Iowa, a state that had been a traditional stronghold for Clinton, sent a powerful message that his campaign was gaining momentum. He continued to build support as he campaigned across the country, highlighting his platform of healthcare reform, economic justice, and ending the war in Iraq. His ability to connect with voters, combined with his charisma and vision for the future, made him a formidable opponent. Obama's message of unity and inclusivity contrasted sharply with the polarizing rhetoric of his opponents. He argued that the country needed to move beyond the divisive politics of the past and focus on common goals. His speeches, such as his iconic "Yes, we can" mantra, emphasized the power of collective action, making it clear that change was possible if people were willing to work together. On November 4, 2008, after a long and hard-fought election season, Barack Obama made history by defeating Republican nominee John McCain. Obama won 365 electoral votes to McCain's 173, and he also secured a significant victory in the popular vote, winning 52.9% compared to McCain's 45.7%. The results were not just a testament to Obama's political skill but also to the American people's desire for change and a more hopeful future. Obama's victory was met with widespread celebrations across the country and the world. His election marked a turning point in American history, as millions of people, especially African Americans, saw his presidency as the realization of the dream of racial equality. The moment was made even more poignant by the fact that Obama had risen from humble beginnings to become the leader of the free world. His victory was not just personal but symbolic, a message that anything was possible in America, regardless of race, background, or circumstance. In his victory speech on the night of the election, Obama addressed the nation with a powerful message of hope and unity. He spoke about the challenges ahead and the hard work required to tackle the issues facing the country. Obama emphasized that his victory was not just a personal achievement, but a victory for the American people, a triumph of hope over fear, and of progress over division. The 2008 presidential election was a watershed moment in American history. Obama's victory was more than just a political accomplishment. It was a cultural shift. It demonstrated that change was possible in America, and that hope, unity, and hard work could lead to the most unexpected and incredible outcomes. Barack Obama's historic win in 2008 was just the beginning of a transformative presidency that would shape the course of American politics and inspire generations to come. Transforming America. Obama's presidency. Barack Obama's presidency marked a defining moment in American history, as his leadership brought about significant changes across a variety of issues, from healthcare and the economy to foreign policy and social justice. Elected in 2008 during a time of immense national challenges, Obama entered office with a clear mandate: to guide the country through its worst economic crisis since the Great Depression, reform healthcare, and promote unity in a deeply polarized nation. His presidency was defined by his ability to inspire, lead through difficult times, and enact lasting change. One of Obama's first major challenges upon taking office was addressing the 2008 financial crisis. The economy was in freefall, with millions of Americans losing their jobs, homes, and savings. In response, Obama implemented the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, a stimulus package aimed at jump-starting the economy. The act included tax cuts, infrastructure investments, and funding for education, healthcare, and renewable energy projects. Though controversial, the package helped stabilize the economy, create jobs, and pave the way for recovery. The Obama administration's approach to the economy wasn't just about recovery. It was also about long-term sustainability. One of Obama's most notable achievements was his landmark healthcare reform, the Affordable Care Act (ACA), also known as Obamacare. Before the ACA, millions of Americans lacked access to affordable health care, and many others were burdened by high premiums and pre-existing condition exclusions. Obama fought for health care reform despite fierce opposition from Republicans and interest groups. The ACA expanded health care coverage to millions of Americans, banned insurance companies from denying coverage due to pre-existing conditions, and made it illegal to place lifetime caps on healthcare spending. While the law remains contentious, it was a historic step toward achieving universal healthcare in the U.S. Obama also worked to improve America's energy policy. With concerns over climate change growing, Obama set ambitious goals for reducing carbon emissions and transitioning toward cleaner energy sources. Under his leadership, the U.S. saw a rapid growth in renewable energy jobs, and his administration played a key role in the 2015 Paris Agreement, a global pact to combat climate change. His efforts to combat environmental degradation were not without criticism, but his emphasis on renewable energy helped shape a more sustainable future for the country. Another defining aspect of Obama's presidency was his foreign policy. Obama inherited two ongoing wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he worked tirelessly to navigate the complexities of international diplomacy. One of his most significant achievements in foreign policy was the killing of Osama bin Laden in 2011. The operation, carried out by Navy SEAL Team 6, was a defining moment in the war on terror and served as a victory for American national security. Obama's foreign policy also emphasized diplomacy and multilateralism. He re-engaged with international allies, improved relations with countries like Cuba, and shifted the U.S. focus towards Asia with the Pivot to Asia strategy. His approach was often characterized by a balance between military power and diplomatic engagement, promoting a vision of global cooperation. On the domestic front, Obama's presidency also saw advances in civil rights. Obama's belief in equality and justice for all Americans shaped his support for marriage equality, which culminated in the Supreme Court's landmark 2015 decision to legalize same-sex marriage nationwide. He also worked to address racial inequality and advocated for criminal justice reform. His administration took steps to reduce mandatory minimum sentences for nonviolent offenders and sought to address issues within the criminal justice system, though progress in this area was slower than many had hoped. Obama's presidency was also marked by his calm and composed demeanor, his eloquence, and his ability to inspire people from all walks of life. His message of hope and change resonated deeply with the American public, particularly during his first campaign for president. He used social media, particularly Twitter and Facebook, to connect directly with citizens, making his presidency one of the most tech-savvy in history. His leadership style emphasized empathy and consensus building, often seeking common ground even in the face of political opposition. Despite facing significant partisan gridlock, especially during his second term, Obama managed to pass important legislation, including the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act, which aimed to prevent another financial crisis by regulating the financial industry. He also expanded educational opportunities, such as through the Race to the Top initiative, which incentivized states to improve public education. Obama's presidency was not without its challenges. The nation remained divided on many issues, and the Obama administration faced constant opposition from conservative lawmakers and institutions. Yet, his legacy endures as one of the most transformative periods in modern American history. His time in office demonstrated that with determination, vision, and a commitment to public service, a president can lead a nation through its darkest hours and push for progress even in the face of adversity. Obama's presidency ultimately reshaped America. It left a lasting impact on healthcare, the economy, foreign policy, and civil rights. His time in office proved that change, though difficult, is possible when people come together to fight for a better future. Through his leadership, Obama showed that progress is never easy, but it is always worth the effort. Life after the White House. Continuing the legacy. Barack Obama's presidency ended in 2017, but his impact on America and the world did not stop when he left the White House. In fact, life after the presidency marked the beginning of a new chapter where Obama continued to shape political discourse, advocate for change, and inspire new generations of leaders. Even without the formal power of the presidency, Obama remained a global figure, using his platform to continue championing causes such as social justice, climate change, democracy, and leadership development. One of the first things Obama focused on after leaving office was ensuring that his legacy would be sustained for future generations. He founded the Obama Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to inspiring and empowering young people to become leaders in their communities. The foundation's flagship project is the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago, which will serve as a hub for leadership development, innovation, and civic engagement. The center is designed to offer programs and resources that will allow young people to develop the skills necessary to tackle the world's toughest challenges, from poverty to climate change. Obama often speaks about the importance of giving young people the tools to make a difference, emphasizing that the next generation has the power to shape the future. In addition to his work with the Obama Foundation, Obama remained an influential voice in the political landscape. He frequently spoke out on issues that were close to his heart, including healthcare, racial inequality, climate change, and voting rights. His post-presidential speeches were often a call to action, urging citizens to stay engaged in the political process and fight for the values of democracy, equality, and justice. One of his key messages was the importance of participation in democracy, encouraging Americans to vote and be active in their communities. He also continued to emphasize the need for civil discourse and unity, particularly in an increasingly polarized political environment. Obama also used his post-presidency platform to advocate for climate change awareness. His administration's efforts to combat climate change were one of the cornerstones of his presidency, and after leaving office, he continued to work on environmental issues. He took part in international discussions on climate change, including the Paris Agreement, and worked alongside other leaders to ensure global action. Obama also took personal steps to reduce his own carbon footprint, promoting clean energy initiatives and environmental sustainability. In the years after his presidency, Obama became an influential voice in global discussions on democracy. As populist movements surged across the world, Obama stood firm in his belief in the importance of democratic institutions. He warned against the rise of authoritarianism and emphasized the importance of defending democracy and the rule of law. In various speeches, Obama urged leaders to recognize the interconnectedness of people worldwide and stressed the importance of global cooperation in tackling issues like climate change, poverty, and conflict. Obama also continued to contribute to political discourse through his memoir, A Promised Land, which was published in 2020. The book was a reflection on his presidency, his political journey, and the lessons he learned along the way. It provided an intimate look at the highs and lows of his time in office and offered insights into the decision-making process behind some of his most important policies. The memoir became a bestseller and further solidified Obama's place in history as a thoughtful and reflective leader. Beyond his public speaking and writing, Obama also engaged in personal projects that brought him closer to the people. He enjoyed time with his family, especially with his wife, Michelle, and their daughters, Malia and Sasha. The Obama family's focus on spending time together became a key part of their post-presidency life, and Obama frequently spoke about the joy of being able to take time off from the intense pressures of the White House to enjoy simpler moments. Obama's legacy is far from over. In his post-presidency years, he has continued to shape political and social conversations, mentor future leaders, and fight for causes that matter to him. While he is no longer in the Oval Office, his work continues through the Obama Foundation, his speeches, his writing, and his advocacy for global issues. Obama's post-presidential life is a reminder that leadership does not end when you leave office. It's a lifelong commitment to service, progress, and the belief that the world can be made better through collective action. In many ways, life after the White House has given Barack Obama the space to continue his vision of a more just, inclusive, and hopeful world. His commitment to creating lasting change is evident in the work he continues to do. By focusing on empowering others, encouraging civic engagement, and advocating for the values he championed during his presidency, Obama is ensuring that his legacy endures for generations to come.